I am here with the legendary Kelly Price. OMG, this is like a crazy moment. This is an amazing moment in my career, so let me just say that.
Okay.
Okay.
This is an amazing moment for me as an ATLian because I watch you in the mornings.
Yes,
and I'm like, you too fine for it to be 5 o'clock.
Stop it, girl. I get it from you. I get it from you.
Does that pre-dawn?
Well, you look good right now, and you're sparkled and all that jazz.
Thank you.
And now we're really excited to see you in the upcoming show. Oh my gosh, American Soul.
Yes.
When I tell you, so we've been stalking the castings for American Soul for the past year now, just so you know, my producer and I. And we said, what, Don Cornelius? This was the show that was back in the 1970s, ran for over 35 years, and now you are a part of it. Tell me about your role as Miss Brianna Clark.
Yes, so as Brianna Clark, I have 2 young children who are amazingly talented. They have a singing group. They want to break into the music industry, and it's not happening quite the way they want it to. They hear about the auditions for dancers. They audition, and they become 2 of the original Soul Train dancers as their foot in the door to launch their career. But our Stories family line, they're upcoming stars.
Yes.
But as Brianna Clark, my individual storyline is the picture of Black America at the time where the civil rights movement was heightened. There was war going on. There was the draft. In addition to having these children, she's a married woman. Her husband is off at war, so she's raising these children as if she's a single woman because he's, you know, thousands, tens of thousands of miles away fighting in a war that for the most part, most people didn't even agree with in this country, like they didn't understand. So you get a picture of our culture during that time. Just civil unrest, all of it. And so she's an incredible woman. She's the mother, she's a friend, she's that prayer warrior, but she's fighting her own battles within. And she also represents a woman who has given so much that in that she's lost her own voice. So you watch her find it throughout season 1.
Why did you decide to sign on to a project like this?
Well, listen, so first and foremost, if you go all the way back to the beginning of my career, I was the girl who everybody knew my voice, and you were singing songs that I'd written for a lot of people, but you didn't know me. Record companies said that girls that looked like me didn't sell records, so they would hire me to write music for their artists, but no one would sign me. And so being in a session with Ronald Isley, the legendary Isley Brothers, one day, I'd written a song for him. I'm producing the record for him that day, and he talked to me about making records, and I felt like I couldn't do it because I'd been told so many times, literally, you're too fat, you're too black, and you're too loud. And he wooed me for about 9 months, and I finally agreed to sign to his boutique label, T-Neck Records. He then took me to Island Polygram. Hiram Hicks signed me. Yeah. And then they went to Don Cornelius. We had this ingenious plan. I created a logo. It's my initials with like these glamorous glasses. And when the music went out to radio and they took out the ads, that's all people saw with my name. No one knew what I looked like. We went all the way to #1 on Billboard with no video, no images. And the first time the country got a chance to see me perform was on a Soul Train stage on a Saturday morning because Don Cornelius came in and wanted to be a part of the Kelly Price win team.
This is a full circle moment for you.
It's a full circle moment, yes.
I can just imagine the emotional pull that you have to bring out on that set every single time.
I literally, the day they called me and said, we would love for you to be Brianna Clark, I cried so hard that I could barely say thank you. So I think about him being an early believer and him encouraging me and telling me you'll be among the greats like Shaka and Aretha and Whitney. So for the world to see me coming out in this way through the machine of telling his story, I feel like is a God moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to talk about just in general how exciting it was to probably work on a set like this. I mean, I just imagine Train and dancing.
Yes, so our show is a production within a production. They had to produce it and make it look exactly the way it did when he was producing it in the 70s. So there's a whole production going on the stage, and then there's the actual production of our guys filming the production of the show. So it was crazy. There could be like 100 people on the dance floor at any given time. It was just great watching the energy, our costumers. They dressed every extra because it's a period piece, so everything had to be on point. We were very intentional about making sure that we stuck true to what was happening during the day, fashion-wise, storyline-wise, what was going on in the world, world's events. We touch on Dr. King's death at some point during the season, so it's amazing. Like, I'm super excited. This is nostalgic for me. I was a kid watching it every Saturday morning.
I cannot wait to see this.
But and you're getting 2 episodes on premiere night. Tuesday night is watch party night. Every Tuesday night.
We will be watching. I will tell you that. Okay, but before we finish, I need to know like a behind the scenes, like a little scoop. So like, what was Senqua like, or like what was working with Tony Cornelius like?
Okay, so Tony Cornelius is a sweetheart. He's truly his father's son, and he so wanted this story to be told not only truthfully, but of course you want it to be told right. And so first and foremost, thank you, Tony. Thank you to the Cornelius family. They held nothing back. We have real raw facts about the way we deal with everything, including the way Don Cornelius left us. And so I really appreciate them for that. Behind the scenes, Senqua he's a big teddy bear. He's like he's a gentle giant. And yeah, you guys, I don't know if you'll ever get to see that goofy side of him, but we would do game night sometimes on the weekend. Senqua, like for real, karaoke, he wanted to be a rapper in another life.
No!
Oh my God.
I'm gonna ask about that for sure.
Tell him to drop some bars for you. Sorry, I had to.
Well, you just told on him. My last question for you.
Yes.
I mean, this is just one of the many projects that you have worked on. You are so friggin' talented,
Thank
Kelly.
you.
What is
Thank
next for you?
Oh my, well, more acting. But actually, when they called me to offer me the role of Brienne Clark, I was just about wrapping up the next music project. So what will happen within the next couple of months, while you are enjoying episodes of American Soul, new music is coming.
Yes!
Yes.
Let the Kelly say amen!
Man.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you.
And thank you so for watching our show. I'm so tickled.
Yes, no, girl, I'm up in the morning. I'm like literally, I don't know what it is. I have to get up in the morning. I have to be like sick or just laying down at 5 to not be up and see you. But yeah.
Yes, of course. Tony Cornelius, the son of the legend, Don Cornelius, and you're a legend in your own right, the executive producer now of this amazing show that you're bringing to BET, American Soul.
Thank you, Francesca.
Thank you for even speaking.
But listen, before we start,
Yeah.
I'd like to say this has been a team effort.
Yeah.
You know, not only am I an executive producer, but you've got Jesse Collins, you've got Jonathan Prince, you've got Devon Gregory. You know, there's a lot of people who made American Soul happen.
Talk to me about American Soul, because I want to know how it even came to fruition. Your father passed in 2012, and now we're in 2019, about to see much of his past, much of the legacy that he left behind.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, February 1st, which was yesterday, was his death back in 2012, and you know, I miss him to death. But when it comes to how American Soul started, you know, the stars lined up the right way. My father, for years, wanted to do a movie on television or on screen. And we sold the brand to a private equity, then the private equity purchased it, sold it to Viacom BET, and BET, which has done so well with some of their new TV movies, which was Bobby Brown, as well as New Edition. Thought that it'd be a good opportunity to try to do something with Soul Train, and the name is American Soul.
This is a show that has been around for over 35 years, and now you're about to really jazz it up with these new characters and really show a lot of young people who have no idea what the Soul Train, well, you know, a lot of people may not know. I was born in the 90s, but however, I know a little thing about the Soul Train.
You did Soul Train pretty good, too, I see.
Ooh, Soul Train, I mean,
Francesca.
it's my thing, it's my thing. But seriously, what was it like working with this amazing cast? Because I've already met Kelly, and also I know a lot about Senqua.
Absolutely. No, it was fantastic. Just Robbie Reed, who's the casting director, did a marvelous job at selecting very talented, not only people who could sing, but people who could act. Mm-hmm. And, American Soul just has all the elements that people don't really know about. It's got the good, the bad, and the ugly, actually. And I think the millennials and those that are even younger can understand and start to learn. There's a lot of teaching moments in American Soul as well, you know. And I kind of made sure that those teaching moments were visible, mm-hmm. because my father taught me everything that I knew, you know. So I'm really keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that people will really get into it.
So a lot of people may not know this, but you were one of the producers on the show Soul Train, and you worked your way up. Your dad made sure that you weren't just handed anything with a silver spoon. What about that experience are you bringing to this new project?
Well, you know, that's a very interesting question. You know, when you start from the bottom up,
yeah.
And you understand rank, you know when to speak and when not to speak, and you know it when you see it. So when it comes to the creative process, working with directors and producers and writers and lighting people and sound people and actors and actresses, you kind of get a really good feel because you've had some experience in those areas. So, you know, I really learned a lot working my way from the bottom up.
Now take me behind the scenes, okay? Because you have a lucky opportunity here. I get to speak with people who have shows, like the regular shows and stuff. Walking Dead's really exciting because of the costumes and the energy. This is going to be one of those shows that is really exciting for people to watch.
Absolutely.
What was it like with the costumes and the sounds and the music and?
Well, yeah, I mean, all of that is vintage. I mean, I supplied the team with photographs of my father and my mother. It's almost like a love story as well. My mother was involved. Paris Camper plays Dolores Cornelius. And, I supplied them with photographs that I had collected over the years of the family, and they were able to actually duplicate the clothing. We have a fantastic costume designer that did a great job. Babyface is doing the music. Some of the things that we're doing are actual things that happened between me and my father in the business, and my mother and father, and things of that nature. So it's really a true indication of how wonderful this thing is turning out to be.
My final question for you, what would the Don Cornelius have to say about this project coming to life?
Well, I've been asked that question before, and I got to be real honest with you. He probably wouldn't appreciate it. He probably wouldn't like it. He was a tough guy. He was a very tough guy, and he was a hard worker. He'd probably say, "Tony, what the hell are you doing?" No.
Son, no one told you to do that.
Exactly. He was my father, But I think in the end, as he's always told me, sometimes you got to get out the way and let people do what they do, and you get all the credit for it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cornelius. Very nice to meet you.
And call me Tony.
Tony!
You make me feel old when you call me.
You're so young, Tony.
Okay.
Stop it. Let me take a quick photo with you, okay? What's up, guys? So I am standing with Mr. Cornelius. Well, not really. I mean, actually.
The reincarnation.
The reincarnation. You have an opportunity of a lifetime, Senqua.
I do, yes.
This is remarkable. Tell me about when you got the phone call that they wanted you to play Don Cornelius, the legend.
So it actually wasn't a phone call. I actually found out in person. I had the opportunity of finding out the same day that I went in and hearing from the producers that they felt like what I did was on point and on the money. And they let me know before I went home that Friday that I had the part. And then I got the call letting me know what kind of preparation I was going to have to go into.
Well, I'm curious to know about the preparation. What was that preparation like? Because this is a show. I mean, the Soul Train.
There it is, yes. Honestly, massive amounts of preparation. The most preparation I've ever done as an actor in my life. The first step was sitting down with Tony Cornelius and talking to him about his father, his life, the upbringing, and carrying on the legacy of Soul Train. Then reading, then writing, and then trying to think about all the character backstory and everything that goes into a man that's as complex as Don Cornelius.
Now, being on that set with so many other talented people who can sing and dance, well, I mean, how inspiring was that for you?
I was inspired to sing in the shower. And every morning and every night I was like, and then that was it.
That's all you got.
Can't sing.
But just being around all being around that setting, I could just imagine all the colors, all the afros.
Yes.
Your afro, was that a lace front?
It was a lace front.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah, we did a little ha-ha. We put it down a little bit.
So what was that like dressing up to be, Don Cornelius?
Yo, shout out to all the women that I've ever had to work with, because I did not understand what you guys go through. Listen, mad respect, obviously, to women always, but to learn what you guys go through now, thank you, because that's the first time I ever had to sit in hair and makeup for an hour and a half every morning. And just sit there and have them doing all that, the glue and then the safety pins and the whole thing, or what? Yeah, all of that stuff.
That's about it. This is not safety pin, it's a bobby pin.
That's all. You see, I don't even know.
It's all right.
And that's the first time. Yeah, safety pin in my head, and now I can't come back.
What was your biggest lesson doing a project like this, working with people like, Kelly Price and like you said, Tony Cornelius? I know Kelly Rowland also rode through.
Rowland, yes. Humility. I think when you talk about those names like Kelly Price, like Kelly Rowland, when you talk about Tony Cornelius and the legacy of Soul Train and his father, the biggest thing that I saw each and every day is they carried themselves with such humility. They were humble, they were grounded while still growing in their success. So as I continue to grow my career, I learned to just continue to be grounded, humble, and carry myself with humility.
All right, now, Senqua, last question for you. So obviously behind the scenes, I like to know inside scoops. I want to know who did what on the set. I want to know what someone ate before, just all that type of stuff. So give us some insider scoops, some things that you did to prepare. I hear that you are quite the rapper.
Did Kelly Price tell you that?
I don't, reveal my sources.
Listen, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give my bars a 2, but those 2 are fire. I dropped the most 2 bars you'll ever hear in your life.
Okay, so, if you had to drop a bar about, I don't know, just the show in general,
Right.
American Soul,
Right.
can you give us maybe, I don't know, is it called an 8 count or
An
a
8
bar?
count. Okay, listen. Yeah, listen. It was all a dream.
Yeah, that was fire.
Hold on.
No.
It was all a dream. I used to eat butter and ice cream, salt and pepper and mayonnaise on my lean cuisine, hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, Big Mac attack, I got the runs in my drawers. Oh,
That is
I'd
disgusting.
eat that snack pack till I got fat. Nah, I'm just playing. That's all I got.
I can truly say that was sick.
Bars.
Those bars were
Those-
sick.
Yeah.
I got
Bars
the
were
runs
sick.
in my drawers.
Oh. You
Get
forgot
out.
the
On that note, we're thank you for this amazing interview, Senqua. And we just want to say congratulations on this project. I mean, we know a ton of people are going to be watching.
Yes.
And I know that the big takeaway is there are so many people that this is going to touch, from people who are younger, who have never even seen Soul Train, to
Yes,
people
yes.
whave grown up with it. And
Yes.
this is just bringing back some nostalgia. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're good to go? Yay! What the hell was that?